Hello, people of YouTube. It's Brittany, Inner Goddess, here on the tube and elsewhere. I come to you with the question of, do you ignore art? Or is that a factor? Is what you see a factor in how you interpret your cards? When I first started obsessing about whether or not I was going to get a Lenormand deck, at the point in time that I was obsessing, I didn't have one. I only had tarot and I had a couple oracle decks. But I listened to people say that Lenormand is very concrete. Ignore the images. Basically, ignore your intuition also, but go with what the cards mean. The cards have meanings. Learn those meanings. And it is very good for prediction of events or analysis of happenstance. I thought to myself, that sounds like something I need in my toolbox. But immediately, it's funny because my first Lenormand deck, and I only, like, I can't say that I've collected Lenormand, but my first Lenormand deck, the artist said herself that she intended it to be read intuitively, so that's pretty funny. And I haven't shown it on here, but I loved what she wrote in the guidebook. Even though it came off a little harsh, it came off a little tough to me. But I loved her guidebook. It a little small guidebook. And she was saying what I basically say about tarot, that there's no way around getting to know the cards or developing a relationship with the cards, developing how you're going to work with the cards, other than working with them. That's it. So my conclusion is that yes, everything that you see in a Lenormand card is a factor. Everything that you see in every card, in any oracle, can be a factor. The number of the card, the image of the card, the historical meanings of the card, and what you feel, what you sense, what comes to mind as you look at those cards. When people are stubborn, the trickster can hide. um, that's the thing. When someone that gets a reading gets irritated with someone that is reading, and if a reader is wrong some sort of way, a couple things could occur. It could be that they're fixated on meanings. It could be that they had a preconceived notion about the person or what the outcome was going to be, and they imposed that on the reading. Or it could be that the circumstances haven't come to pass yet. Person comes back the next day or the next week and says it hasn't happened yet. Well, the reader's job usually, more often than not, is just reading. Sometimes you happen upon a magical practitioner that happens to be a reader, or a reader that is also a magical practitioner. But sometimes you encounter a reader that is just a reader. They might be a reader based off of study. It does not mean an intuitive reader. That does not mean that they market themselves as a psychic or a medium. Someone might be a psychic or a medium and not use any cards. Or they might use cards. They might not advertise themselves as a psychic or medium. Some magical practitioners do not sell anything. they are not marketing anything because there's nothing for sale. There is no shop. You cannot buy a candle from them. They will do no work for you. They're just going around the world living the way that they live. They may be nice person. They may be mean. That's where the different perspectives, when you wonder why are there people that feel like there's bad people, and there are people that are chosen by the Lord. So there's a separation. My answer is that if you want more of a response about that, you have to conduct a good amount of research and then throw in your own perspective as you evaluate that about how people were made and what is a people. Do you believe, can you accept that there's more than just people? The standard gingerbread man. A lot of people hold simplified beliefs. And see, I'm going to astrology. I'm pointing over to astrology. That it's a special crowd. It's a certain demographic of people that study this stuff. And of the studiers, there are the academic studiers that it's mainly or exclusively research in a documentarian kind of approach. There's intuitive researchers that will argue you down based off of how they feel or what they feel. And they don't really care what your papers or your books say. And there are people that are somewhere in the middle They do research, but they are also psychically sensitive people, and they may or may not say that because they don't want their credibility to take a rundown. These people might be professors, could be archaeologists, anthropologists, and they are intuitively processing information, but they may or may not say that. As well as the psychic people, unless you catch them, they may or may not admit to reading books ever. They may say they read nothing. Nothing but the energy. All of this comes directly through me. I read nothing. I have been honest from the get that I do read books. Some people don't believe me. They're just like, she's stupid. She doesn't read any books. Fine. I'm not going to argue with you. And the intuitive crowd, oh, she didn't just receive that. She reads books. She researched that. You can find that information. Okay. There are things that I get that there's no way. There's too much news. Every day, there's so much news. I don't know if people realize this. And there's so many different directions of news. You might just say, oh, there's a standard of news, like ABC News, NBC News. That's a certain kind of news. What news you're pointed at does have to do with you. You can say that's the general news, everybody knows this or that. No, everybody doesn't. There are many times in my life that people have said I live under a rock because I don't know what's going on. But I don't know what's going on because there's so much news. My orientation has been where my parents' orientation has been, where who is my friend or who I'm seeing, their orientation. And that's it. Because although some people think I'm a fast reader, I wouldn't necessarily say that about myself, and not talking about psychically reading, like card reading or oracle reading. I'm saying book reading. Some would say I'm a fast reader, but amongst the readers, amongst the consumers of books, probably not. Because I'm not trying to blow through the books. This is not a book race for me. I don't even like that feeling. I don't like that pressure. This is why I don't tend to join book clubs. Not because I'm antisocial, although some people think I am. But I don't join book clubs because there is a speed that you have to read at. You've got to finish that book in a certain amount of time so that you can form your own opinion, answer the questions or whatever, prepare yourself to discuss it with the book club. Now, if there's a tarot club, Lenormand club, diviner club, and then it's just like, oh yeah, I could answer you fast with that. I could give you a review on a deck. But thus far, from what I've seen, that seems to be an independent thing. It's not really a club unless you count people's individual channels and their social network. But you got to get in there, or you could be talking to yourself, your audience, if you build up a crowd. But I'm saying that, yeah, I could read faster that way than I could with the books. I don't like book pressure. I read at a leisurely pace because that's what I'm doing, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. I read books for pleasure. I am trying to enjoy myself. I read cards for information and interaction. So that's why imposing meanings doesn't work. Because that's the same thing as speaking to somebody and imposing meaning on what they're saying or imposing what you think they're trying to say. The best thing you can do is ask. What do you mean? What are you trying to say to me? What was that? I'll only go around someone speaking if they make it clear they don't want to be understood or they don't want to explain. Then it's just like, okay, you were talking though. So I'm going to find out what you were trying to say to me. That's what I'm going to do. This isn't over. What were you trying to say? It's wild. Because I have a Mercury in the 6th house in Aquarius. I'm not able to not analyze what is said to me or around me if it catches my interest. Does everything that is said on the planet catch my interest? Absolutely not. This is why, as a younger nugget, when people would say I must have been living under a rock to not know what's going on, inwardly, my inner attitude haver was just like, seriously? You think that's important? I'm not even going to share with you what I think is important. Because you think that I should know the latest in pop culture news? Really? You don't know those people. I know what you did last night, though. Do you know what I did last night? No, you don't, because you were too busy watching Paris Hilton. So I've always been like this. But it would seem that I had a poor esteem issue because I didn't fight for myself. But again, it's because I knew I was in the minority, so I'm going to lose if this is an argument of the masses versus me. The masses say that they know what's important news. I say, okay. But when you have planets in a sign, understand that you are moving progress in that area. That's for you. Special. Special amongst, I don't know how many, I don't know, millions, billions, whatever, whatever is special amongst the demographic. But your special natal chart snapshot is you. Nobody has your natal chart but you. You will encounter sign mates, people that will have something or other in common with you. And so they will witness some variation of the same plight. So, Mercury and Aquarius, folks, you may say things that tend to piss people off. You may tend to be an oddball. You say things ahead of time. It would appear you see into the future. It's just intelligence. It's intelligence, and there's higher intel coming to you, but it's because it's ahead of time intel. It's like being able to see further down the road than other people. The people that need their glasses on really can't see without the glasses on. But if you can see further than the average person without the glasses in the first place, it's like you're psychic. You're just like 50 miles ahead, you're going to need to make a left. And you say this without a GPS. People are like, what? You've never been down this road. But you can see the turn. So you can play that up if you want to. Put on a wizard hat. A magic. Or you could say that you see it. People aren't going to believe you because they can't see it. But that's what's going on. You can see what's coming. You can see what needs to change. You can see what's going to change. You might tend to irritate because truth over feelings is a very mercurial tendency. It's like because your feelings can make you wrong. If you're so committed to your feelings that you can't be honest. And this is what ends up separating me from people, because what people consider loyalty is often called lie to and for them. It's taken a lot of heartache, a lot of getting in trouble, a lot of making people angry for me to be like, if I have to lie for you, we're just going to have to take these hits. Because I dream of being able to be honest and still so proud of you. That's me. and for who I love, there's really not shit you can do for me to not be proud of you. The only thing that stops me with people, family, friend, lover, co-worker, the only thing that stops me is their opposition to me. That is it. And I can even take that for a little while. Like, okay, you want to fight me right now. Understood. Because your concept of loyalty is being challenged, and I don't seem very loyal right now. But once you're done being mad and you put your thinking hat back on, you'll realize I'm the most honest person you've ever known. And I love you and I'm honest. Isn't that fantastic? I ain't never had a friend like me. I am a friend to everyone in my life. And that to me is highly valuable. Someone can be your lover and not your friend. Your family member and not your friend. Your coworker and not your friend. A financial supporter, but not your friend. I have a high value on friendship because that's care when honesty kicks in. To care about how you feel is of high value to me because I expect that in life, sometimes you're going to have to say something to me that I may not like to hear. But if I can trust that you care about me, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to anything that you advise me to do. But if you don't care about me, we are not friends. I don't care what you say. Because I can trust myself to be right. Because I can see that far. I can see really far. So what a friend is for in any area of life is seeing really far in a direction that I'm not looking, because I can't look in all directions at the same time. People might think I'm super mysterious. I'm a magical MF, and I am magical, but I cannot look in every direction at the same time. In real life, I don't really look like one of those little angel diagrams with all the eyeballs spinning around on the wheel. That's not me. That's not me. I am Legion. So, the eyeballs are not all mine. Trust is something that is built. When you encounter a faith haver, a faith haver of the mystical variety outside of church, because within the realm of church, someone might have been beat into the belief. Belief might have been demanded, or it could be a presentation. They don't really believe crap. They just say that because they're afraid of what will happen if they don't say that. But when you encounter a faith haver just walking around in the world, it's because that faith has been fortified by experience. It has been disappointing to me to witness readers that aren't really believers in anything. So I can imagine how hurtful, how sad, and discombobulating that can be for regular people that are hinging their faith on psychic people sometimes. That is difficult. But you have to be aware that people are people in every arena. There are doctors that are just doctors for the paycheck. There are doctors that are doctors because of their interest in medicine and the body. Maybe hit or miss when it comes to their social interactions, but they have a deep interest, and so it just makes sense to be a doctor. It's professor or medical doctor. And there are people that want to help people, and so they figure those are the credentials necessary in order to be able to potentially save a life. They might not be considered the smartest doctor in the room sometimes, but they're trying to be of help. And they know if they try to help people without even attempting to study it, it could cause some harm, inadvertent harm, and that's not what they were trying to do. Look for the carers in every profession. Don't think that the profession itself is the banner, the electric wire fence that's going to make it one way or another. There are entertainers that love to entertain, and there are entertainers that are there to make monies. But everybody, if they're good, should be paid. And that's the thing. People get so angry about like pro athletes' paychecks. I can't believe these people get paid so much freaking money to play like football or basketball or whatever. Did you see the movie Concussion? Some odd high percentage of football players leave the industry with a brain injury. And it's commonly known that their body gets busted up. So they're signing up like gladiators. Of course, it's the dream to get those big paychecks. But they're also aware that they're barely going to be able to use their kneecap by the end of their career, and their career might not be very long. Just like the gladiators, life might end quickly. So they were super famous and super rich. They are going out there for people's entertainment watching folks get busted up. So that's why the check is high. They're in and out of the game. And when you realize in this digital world, it should be super clear, super visible to people that money is just numbers. We're not living in the time of paper money, of coins, where the limit is how much can be made. That really put a cap on who could have money, because if there's a couple super wealthy people, that was literally where all the money was. Like everybody else has only got a couple coins. Like you only have what you have that's left. And the person banging out the coins, they can only move at the rate that they can move. Even if they're freaking at the forge, they're forging coins all day. There's still only so much. Couple people are busy being rich. Everybody else got to be glad if they can just survive, if they get to hold a coin for a minute. Hide it under the mattress and just hold on to what you got as long as you can do it. But now, that's not the thing. Money is numbers on your phone. So why are we still suffering limitations on how much we can have or how fast we can have it? Why? What's going on? So excuse me, as this is high priority to me. Higher priority than a lot of other things. What reason is there for me to fixate on the folks that already have lots of numbers in their bank account? I'm like, unless my purpose is to steal from them, but there's nothing that has indicated to me that that's what I'm supposed to do. Some people would be angry about more, or will be angry about more people having more money. The concern is that some people will not work as hard or work at all if they get money easier. So they need to be tortured into hard labor. Tortured into labor at all for some fields. I've argued this before, and I'll say it again, that all the work will get done regardless, anyway. Nature naturally balances things out. Just like for the people that have been concerned that there's not going to be enough humans on the earth if too many people get their gay on. My answer is that there's enough people. There's enough people that love kids, love having kids, and love straight sex that there's going to be a substantial amount of humans on the earth. So don't have to really go out of your way to kill folks. Don't need to poison folks. Don't need to kill folks en masse. Some people will just want to leave. Soon as they become aware that they don't have to suffer a death to leave, they're out of here. Like that Earth experience was cool, but I'm out of here. Or it was freaking miserable. That was a mistake. I'm out of here. Okay. They will vacate the planet. Is everyone going to leave? No. No. Even with option to leave without paying, many people would still choose to stay. You don't have to be trapped. Don't have to be tricked. Don't have to be tied. Just want to stay. So these are things of high interest, high priority for me. And if you take interest in an easier life, easier living, and it not being so hard or taking so long to make a little bit of money, listening to me is going to be of interest to you. I'm going to be some good news to pay attention to. Because I like that. I like that. Ease. Ease doesn't stop me from doing difficult things. I enjoy some challenge. But my kind of challenge, intellectual challenge. Let me puzzle through some stuff. Don't try to create a puzzle. It's already puzzles in life. Just like I'm saying with this money issue, people have been baffled, going around in circles, working really hard. I see hard work and poverty in the same space. That should not be. That doesn't make any sense. So I refuse to waste my time when I have the intellectual capacity to puzzle through what is the reason for this. What's going on? Some people like physical labor. They like to challenge their bodies, lift heavy things, push heavy things, run really fast, hike tall mountains, climb mountains just because it's hard. I don't want to climb a mountain because it's hard. I'll climb a mountain for a prize. But if I can find a way to get to the prize without climbing a mountain, best believe that's what I'm going to do. Oh, there's a little trap door at the bottom of the mountain. Oh, you just got to find a key. Okay, let me find the key. Where's the clues? I'm going to follow the clues to get the key to open the door at the mountain. I'm not going to sit here and get a rope and a carabiner and be scaling up the side of it as I watch other people fall off to their death. No, that's what I'm not going to do. That doesn't make any sense. Not that good of a rock climber. I will if the option is climb the mountain or die, but if I have any time to think about it, I'm going to think my way to the prize. And if I find out there's no freaking prize, I'm not going to bother with the mountain at all. I'm going to sit at the bottom of the mountain eating Cheetos, talking to the rest of the people that realized it's foolishness. Very Daria. So this is not me being cynical. This is being smart. People say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. For some areas, like there's got to be something for everybody that you don't even have to do it over and over again. You can just watch other people and know, that's not the way to go. Or that's not the way for me. Or there's got to be an easier way. And you don't even have to do that thing. Some things you will, or you do. How many folks have lost the same weight a bunch of times before either deciding you're happy being a little chunkier, or you figure out how to maintain a lighter weight? But you've gained and lost the same maybe 20, 30 pounds, like a bunch of times. You witness that? For some people, it's a bigger amount of weight. 50 pounds, 100 pounds. It's tough. But thinking of Hearst Castle right now. Beautiful if you've never been. But looking at art through time, who there's been statues of is the standard. It's considered standard in some regard, whether or the best in some regard. It's the divine people, the smartest people, the most inspirational people, people that were considered sexy. If you make it into art, you're a winner. We might say that about ourselves now, and like it seems like the entryway is for everyone. Everyone can snap a selfie. Everyone can take pictures of themselves and post them all over the internet. Yes. But It's not really lasting. This is like an illusion of long lasting. When you are infused in art, if there's a rhyme about you, a rhyme based on you that has endured for hundreds of years, pretty solid. Be flattered. So I cannot be heckled enough about my appearance for me to feel unattractive. My bottom line is okay. Clearly, you don't know what beauty is. Forget you. You are being conditioned by the masses. I can play for a little while. I do play sometimes. I'll play. Let's play a game. I'm gonna look like everybody else real quick. I'm gonna do what other people are doing. I'm gonna move at the speed. But soon enough, I make things look wily. I call attention to it. So, again, being aware of where you are here to make a move, be the move. That does not mean everyone will agree with you as soon as you drop the idea or do the new thing. Because resistance to change is like a part of the system here. But understand that has a whole lot to do with control over who wins or not. Oh, it has to be hard or everyone will win. Not in every area. Well, heck, here's an example of something that's accessible to just about anyone. Anyone can plant a seed and witness growing a plant. You might have imposed limitations on how much space you have to grow a plant, how many plants you're allowed to have. Maybe you can have one flower in one flower pot. Maybe you can grow a plant on your balcony, or you can have a cactus on your desk, a succulent. But just about everyone can witness this process. Yet and still, not everyone does or has. Can you believe it? Here in the USA, America, the land of freedom. Not every person has witnessed growing a plant for themselves. But witnessing that and contributing to the process is some neural pathway forming, because it's a kind of patience that you cannot buy anywhere. No matter how much water you pour on the plant the first day, it's like you can water a seed to death and have it never sprout. You can catch a bad seed that is not going to pop. You can witness different rates of a plant growing. If you happen to be part of a school curriculum in elementary school where everyone in class was required to grow a plant, you got to see that people's plants grew at different rates, generally around the same rate, according to the book, what the book said. But some people's plants would grow faster or slower. You could put your little scientist hat on to figure out what reason that was. But there was patience involved. There is some patience involved in everything material. That's why in tarot, we say Pentacles is the slowest suit. Whether that's a relationship, becoming, growing, maturing, there's patience. In work, you work, you work, you work. And then you start to see progress, change, or the results of your efforts. Families. You don't just pop out a baby and you've got a family. You cook a baby up, and some people write off. It's just like there's the thrill of my baby. But even if you feel it right off, you develop relationship over time and through experiences. The relationship changes through experiences. So on a greater capacity, larger capacity, we're witnessing this, especially as a country here in America, celebrating 250 years. But also the planet, the whole world is experiencing changes, pentacle changes, emotional changes, psychic changes. So even people that are angry or don't like it That's too freaking bad. The changes are going to occur. They are occurring. And some things can happen by being imposed externally, and other things had to occur through internal intervention. An invasion. People are just waiting for spaceships. Well, there's the spaceships, but also internal invasion means within humanity. Goodness. Yes, within humanity. Because if you could separate folks and be like, oh, the aliens are over there, you could shoot them. Shoot them with what you got, which there are people that have been going down. Whether they're suspected of being extraterrestrial or just different. Just had some different ideas, different ways of doing things, introducing humanity to another way. They're like, get them out of here. Get them out. They're upsetting the system. Not realizing that you can't stop it. That's like trying to stop the waves from from crashing on the beach. What? Where do you expect the water to go? What do you mean? That's the water belongs wherever the water goes. People are made from spirit. So to be like, let's keep the spirit out of here, doesn't make any sense. Some of us are here to make sense out of no sense. So, I'm over an hour here. Prattling. So, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. I am sending lots of love your way. Many blessings on the journey, and I'll see you in the next one.